Winnebago won't produce one of its most anticipated new units. Harvest Hosts is raising prices. National Park Visitation was down by 1/3 in 2020, and campgrounds are banding together to pass laws that limit their liability when things happen to you at their facilities. It's time for the latest in RV and camping news. I'm Jason Epperson, this is RV Miles, and here we talk about the latest in RV and camping news that you, the consumer, need to know about. Winnebago's new off-grid tailored EKKO motorhome was one of the most exciting new product announcements last fall, but now the Iowa RV manufacturing giant has discontinued one of its 2 floor plans before it ever got off the ground. The EKKO 24C was to be the longer 25-foot model with a kitchen slide, standard black tank, and separate shower. It's been available for order since last fall, but customer orders have now all been canceled, and a representative from Winnebago confirms to me that the 24C will not be manufactured, saying that the prototype didn't meet expectations. Quote, "We build out prototypes to prove out designs, features, and functions, which is when we discovered that the 24C didn't meet our criteria." The shorter 22A model is going full steam ahead, but many customers are disappointed by the lack of a slide, the cassette toilet, and the wet bath setup. The 24C seemed to be the gap filler for those wanting more of an adventure vehicle, but with still some of the basic comforts of a typical RV. The EKKO is built on the Ford Transit chassis with a 3.5-liter EcoBoost V6. It comes from the factory with lots of off-grid goodies like all-wheel drive, 455 watts of solar, a second alternator, lithium batteries, and a 50-gallon freshwater tank. All tanks and water lines are inside the coach above the floor to keep them from freezing, and it's packed with extensive all-season insulation, dual-pane acrylic windows, and multiple insulated exterior compartments. The EKKO 22A sleeps 2 or 4 with an optional pop top. It's available for order now with a wait time of at least 7 months. The MSRP is $163,000. This video is sponsored by Togo RV Plus. If you're looking for app-based trip routing that takes into account your RV's length and height, Togo RV Plus is for you. For $39 a year, you'll get turn-by-turn RV directions, plus access to our favorite trip planning app, Road Trippers Plus. You'll be able to search 35,000 campsites and wineries and golf courses, get checklists, maintenance reminders for your specific RV, and more. Plus, RV learning courses are coming soon. Togo RV Plus is just $39 a year, and they've given us a special deal for you. Use the code RVMiles10X for $10 off Togo RV Plus through the link below in the description. As busy as you might have heard national parks were in 2020, visitation was down by nearly 1/3, largely due to temporary park closures and restrictions implemented in response to the coronavirus pandemic. 66 of the 423 parks of the National Park System were fully closed for 2 months or more. The majority of parks, particularly those with outdoor spaces, remained accessible to the public. Just a handful of historic and cultural parks, primarily historic homes with limited indoor space, remain closed. Although overall visitation dropped, 15 parks experienced record crowds, and for the first time, Blue Ridge Parkway claimed the title of the most visited site in the National Park System, besting Golden Gate Recreation Area, which has held the title for the past several years. Great Smoky Mountains National Park maintained its position as the most visited P National Park, a spot it has held since 1944. Grand Canyon National Park dropped from the second most visited national park, a position it held for 30 years, to the 6th most visited. Yellowstone moved up from the 6th most visited to the 2nd most visited, a position it has not held since 1947. Overall, there were 237 million plus visits to national parks and over 8 million overnight stays. Campground owners are lobbying state legislatures to limit their exposure to lawsuits for accidents that happen on their property, according to an article in Woodall's Campground Management. The National Association of RV Parks and Campgrounds has achieved pending legislation in 5 states, Alaska, Connecticut, Missouri, Maine, and Indiana, that would limit their liability when you get hurt encountering uneven terrain, natural bodies of water, tree stumps, roots, or other elements of the natural world. And they anticipate a few more states will consider such a bill this year. The association says these are inherent risks that all campers face, and places like ski resorts have similar protections. They say that these bills are not about protecting campground owners from their own negligence, but they shouldn't be held liable if a bear attacks you, for instance. Fair enough. But this is the type of legislation that can sound sensible and have devastating effects when applied in real life. And it'd be a little bit easier for me to trust this effort if it wasn't headed by the same organization that drafted many of the laws across the country banning overnight stays in parking lots like Walmart and Cracker Barrel in order to rope in more paying customers. They've been lobbying state legislatures for overnight parking bans for years. As of now, Wisconsin is the only state that has enacted inherent risk legislation into law. If you're in one of those states that is considering such legislation, you should reach out to your state legislators and make sure that they're considering your needs when taking up these laws. Finally, Harvest Hosts, the membership organization that links RVers with wineries, farms, breweries, museums, and other attractions for overnight parking, has announced a price increase from $79 a year up to $99 a year for the Classic membership. The Plus Golf membership will increase from $119 to $139. The new pricing will go into effect beginning April 1st, 2021 for both the Classic and the Plus Golf. However, current members who do not let their membership lapse can stay at their existing rate. New members can lock in the current $79 rate if they purchase before April 1st. Plus, they've given us a special 15% off discount, a total of $67.15, by clicking the link I've dropped in the description. As long as you keep your membership active, that link will lock in that 15% off rate forever, regardless of how often Harvest Host increases future membership prices. That's it for this episode. If you got some value out of this video, please hit the thumbs up. And if you want more like it, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified every time we put one out. Make sure to join us each week on the RV Miles podcast, available on any podcast app or right here on YouTube. It's one of the top 20 travel podcasts on Apple each and every week. Let's read some comments from our last camping news video. I've heard that someone is developing a small electrically driven trailer to be towed by electric cars because up to 50% of the electric car's range can be lost from towing. That's true. And actually there are big trailers being developed for electric trucks as well that are going to have a little bit more of the range, but still it's a big challenge to be faced. And there are a lot of creative ways they're thinking about doing it. And for instance, when you go to a campground, you've got an electrical plug-in at most of them. Is that a way that you can recharge your electric vehicle? Another great video. Thanks, Jason. Side note, where did you get that cool t-shirt? I like it. I get lots of questions about that t-shirt every time I wear it in a video. And unfortunately, I think it's discontinued. I got it on a clearance rack outside of Yellowstone National Park in the town of West Yellowstone. Gone Wild Wandering wants to know, I've read on an owner's group that not all campers' electrical systems would support lithium batteries. I would love to know if this is true. Yeah, often you have to upgrade your converter. It just sort of depends on how you want to use them and how you're going to charge them. But yeah, often you have to upgrade other components, and often it makes sense. If you're going to put that kind of money into lithium batteries, you want to put a little bit more money into upgrading your converter and charger and inverter and all that sort of stuff to be optimized to work off of those lithium batteries. Looks like you made it to some warm spot after Texas. Are you in Florida yet? Bill in Florida. Bill, no, that video was recorded at the Palmetto Island State Park in the great state of Louisiana. Fantastic state park. All the Louisiana state parks are great, but that is really a special one. We're now at Buccaneer State Park in Mississippi, right along the Gulf Coast. If you ever have a chance, you might look at the various Alto trailers made by Safari Condo. I love the Altos. I think they're fantastic. So how much do these mobile repair techs make? Well, take this with a grain of salt, but the guy that fixed our furnace a few months ago said he made $300,000 last year. See you on the next one.